I used to wake up at 5:45 every morning, not because I wanted to, but because that's when the alarm went off. Every day was the same. Brush teeth, get dressed, coffee, black, train to the city. It was a life built like a spreadsheet. Neat, predictable, accountable. On paper, it looked like success. Married, 2 kids, a mortgage, middle management at a reputable firm, health insurance, vacations twice a year. From the outside, I had everything. But inside I was dissolving. It didn't happen all at once. At first, it was just forgetting what I liked to eat. Then it was losing interest in music. I used to love playing guitar. I stopped picking it up. I used to write in a journal. The pages turned blank. Then it was the silence. Not the kind you hear outside, but the kind that lives inside you. The silence of walking through your own life like a guest in someone else's home. Always polite, always useful, never fully there. My wife said I seemed distant. I told her I was just tired. My boss said I lacked initiative. I said I was focused on consistency. I gave answers that made sense, even though nothing made sense to me. The moment came like a whisper. It was a Tuesday, raining. I missed my usual train because I stayed back to fix a report no one would read. I caught the late one, the one with empty cars and fewer eyes. That's when I met her, an older woman, maybe 65, sitting across from me. She was reading a book with a cracked spine. I glanced at the title, The Man Who Forgot His Name. She looked up, smiled, said, "Fitting, isn't it?" I didn't reply. She closed the book, gently, said, "You look like you're holding your breath." I stared at her. "When was the last time you exhaled?" she asked. That night I couldn't sleep, not because of her question, but because I realized I didn't have an answer. After that night, things didn't explode. They simply shifted. I started noticing things. How much I apologized without meaning it. How often I agreed to things that made me feel smaller. How I avoided mirrors. I wasn't living. I was maintaining. I tried to bring it up to my wife. I told her I felt off. She frowned. "Is this about your job? You've been under pressure." I nodded. Easier than saying, "No, this is about the me you never met. The man I buried to make room for all this." But how do you say that to someone you love? How do you explain that your own soul feels like a stranger? I started walking. At night. Alone. I told her it helped me sleep. That was true. But it did more. It helped me feel again. The wind against my skin. The rhythm of footsteps. The way the city lights blurred when I let my eyes lose focus. I downloaded a voice memo app. I started recording thoughts. Not for anyone else. Just to hear myself again. I miss me. I used to dream bigger. Maybe I'm not broken. Maybe I'm just buried. It all came to a head one Friday. My boss called me in. Said I didn't seem motivated. Asked if I was planning to leave. I smiled. Said I was fine. But my hands were shaking. That night, I walked until 2 a.m. I found myself on the same train platform where I met the old woman. She wasn't there, but her question was, "When was the last time you exhaled?" I sat down, cried for the first time in years. Not because I was sad, but because I realized I wanted out. Not just out of the job, out of the version of me that stopped believing I was allowed to want more. I told my wife everything. I told her I wasn't okay, that I didn't know who I was anymore, that I felt like a ghost inside my own story. She cried, not out of anger, out of recognition. She said she felt it too, in her own way. We talked until sunrise, not about leaving, but about waking up. I took a leave of absence, started therapy, started writing again, playing guitar, started being honest, even when it was awkward, even when it made people uncomfortable, especially then. I learned that love isn't about performance. It's about presence. I started showing up for my kids, for her, for me. I wasn't perfect, but I was there. The day I truly exhaled came months later. I was walking my son to school. He asked me, "Dad, what do you do?" I smiled, said, "I help people, and I help myself." He looked confused, then nodded. That night, I opened my journal, wrote one line. Today, I remembered who I was. And it wasn't dramatic. It wasn't loud. It was honest. It was mine. If you've ever looked in the mirror and not recognized the eyes staring back, if you've ever felt like your life belonged to someone else, If you've ever forgotten how to want, this story is yours too. Not because we all suffer the same, but because we all deserve to wake up. Somewhere inside you is a voice you buried. It doesn't need permission, just space. And maybe tonight is the night you remember.